You know, I talk really fast, which is why this is on Facebook Live and YouTube, so you can watch it over and over again. And I get really passionate and a bit excited. So if you have questions at the end, we'll definitely take some questions. We're going to Facebook this first part of it, and then at the end, we'll say goodbye to Facebook fans. Hello, Facebook world. And then you can go ahead and ask some questions. So, my name is Karen Urbanek. I am a holistic healthcare practitioner. We have 11 children. We've owned 2 wellness centers, 2 organic cafes, and 2 all-organic health food stores. And we were doing well. That was really fun. Like millions of dollars went through our bank account running all of these things. And then in 2014, I woke up and was like, I'm closing everything. And my kids were like, what? I'm like, I'm just going to educate. All I want to do is educate. I'm going to teach everybody how cells function because that's my passion, right? If you understand how cells function, then your kids are going to understand how cells function, and we're going to get rid of all these stupid diseases that are everywhere throughout the world. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is actually what is dis-ease and what is going on at the cell level. What is quantum physics? How do cells function? What is electricity, right? We're going to learn all of that, I'm not kidding, in 45 minutes. Are you ready?
Yes.
That was really sad. We're doing it again. Are you ready?
Yeah. Woo!
Hey, can I hear it? Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to do that again later. You'll have another chance. Okay, here we go. So let's just understand first, atomically, what is electricity? Electricity is the movement of electrons. That's it. Electricity is the movement of electrons. Now, right now on Facebook, I'm doing a series on minerals because I am like the mineral lover, right? I'm all about sulfur and magnesium and phosphorus. There's hydrogen and helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air. There's oxygen so you can breathe in fluorine for your pretty teeth. Join with me. Neon to light up the signs, sodium for salty times, right? So what happens is those minerals all have electrical current, right? Magnesium, Mg12. The 12 stands for electrons. There are 12 electrons. That's what distinguishes magnesium from potassium or sodium. Now, what's cool about that is that means there's an electrical signature to magnesium. There's an electrical signature to everything: boron, carbon, GABA. You know, all of your transmitters and neurotransmitters. Everything has an electrical frequency because as you bond all these elements together, you build matter. You're sitting on a bunch of elements, right? You're on a metal chair. Right, so you are all elemental matter. Like the stars are bursting and the sun's bursting and all these things are bursting in the galaxy. They came together to make the Earth. So the Earth literally is this ball of frequency, but of matter that all vibrates. Everything vibrates at a different frequency. So we're talking more about cells and quantum physics, but just to understand this, the only way, so a sperm and an egg come together and boom, we have a baby. Woo! Right? We're so excited about that. That was fun. And so, been there, done that lots. But anyhow, so that baby, is that okay? Is that like rated G enough for Facebook? Sorry guys, okay. Anyhow, so when that baby starts to grow, it's going to create cells out of the materials that the mother gives it. So if the mother is at all deficient, so if that baby needs a bunch of manganese, if that baby needs a bunch of boron or silica, then guess what? If the mother doesn't have it flowing through the bloodstream so it can go through into the baby, then it's going to be pulled out of the bone structure of the mother. At that point, I have none because I'm like, my poor kids. You have PMS, it's your own fault. You didn't eat your minerals. If you eat your minerals, you won't have PMS. We actually have 9 girls, and we bought a PMS sign. It was PMS zone. None of my girls had PMS. So we hung it sickness when they're pregnant. I'm waiting for a new baby, grandbaby any day, so we're getting excited because they have minerals. So as the baby grows in the womb, all the minerals that are needed to form the skin, to form the thyroid, the liver, the brain, are made out of minerals because minerals are electrical charges. They stimulate everything to happen. So again, this is about physics and how cells function, but understanding that everything is electric. Everybody's electric, everything is electric. When you combine a bunch of elements together, you can create a compound. You can create a human cell. And those are created out of compounds. Every cell is going to have a different compound nature mixture depending on where it is in the body. So your muscle cells are going to be electrically different than your liver cells. Does that make sense? Okay, so your cells are literally forming out of minerals, and the little lecture you're going to get right now is all minerals on Earth come from the ground. You can only get them one of two ways. You can lick a rock, which is stupid, or you can eat a plant. That's it. You can lick a rock or eat a plant, the only way to get a mineral to your body. So if you are suffering with, let's name everything wrong, when you're magnesium deficient, you can't have you're constipated, you have AFib,
Charlie horses,
all these muscle issues, well, you're mineral deficient. What are you gonna do? Go take magnesium, citrate or something? Or no, because that's a rock. Like, why would you eat rocks? That's what plants do, right? And you can't biotransmutate a rock. Only plants can do it. So the only way to get a bioavailable mineral into the body is to eat a plant. You have to eat a plant. That's how we get minerals into the body. And just because I'm on a rampage, and I love speaking without a PowerPoint, because then I can go on my tangents, let's talk about this. So calcium. Calcium's a metal. Oh my gosh, dead silence in the room. Are your bones made of metal? No. Did you know that the electrical charge of calcium, so when you eat your plants, which is the only way to ever get calcium, I don't know who started sucking out of a cow, but that's weird, okay? So the only way to ever get calcium is to eat a plant, because it's a rock and it's in the ground, and the roots go down into the ground, and the roots grab the calcium, and then it goes through biotransmutation. Let's say that together. Biotransmutation, and then it literally turns the calcium into a bioavailable mineral that we call mineral. It's an element in the ground, periodical table of elements, and then it turns into a mineral when it goes through a plant. So now we eat our calcium-rich plants, and the calcium is literally electrically stimulating, here's the cool part, the red blood cells to make bone. So literally, the charge of calcium is what triggers your bone cells to make more bones. I know, let that sit. Is that sitting? Well, light bulb, boop, boop, right, very exciting. That's why we are like the #1 country of osteoporotics in the world. Wow, right? We also suck out of cows more than anybody else in the world. Wow. So like, why are we sucking out of a cow to get our calcium if it doesn't work? Because it doesn't work, and someone's making a lot of money doing that, but anyhow. So you can still suck out of cows, I don't care, it's a little weird, but someday give up the wet nurse, you'll feel better. So talking about minerals, minerals have electrical charges. So when you take something that's full of boron, it's gonna literally react in the body differently than if something you're eating is full of X, Y, or Z mineral, right? Potassium, sodium balance electrically in the body. So what does this have to do with quantum physics, right? Okay, this is the cool stuff. So when you start building matter out of elements, let's just say we're gonna make a human cell. Cool. So those human cells are so amazing. Like, I don't know what you do in the morning, but I want you all in the morning, tomorrow morning, to lay in bed, in your pajamas, your makeup's not on, you probably smell, and you're gonna be like, good morning. Good morning, liver cells. Good morning, heart. Good morning, spleen. Right, good morning, kidneys. Yep, good morning. We are going to have one kick butt day, and I'm so going to take care of you. Gone are the days when I don't think you're really real. It's because your cells are amazing. I'm like a cell fanatic. Like, I have my little cosmos. It's this, I wrote a book, the 3rd edition's coming out this next month, but I wrote a book and I have this cell mascot called Cosmos. And Cosmos is in my book everywhere. He talks about diabetes, he talks about everything, because we want you to know at the cell level, how do things function. So just let's talk about cells for a minute. Every human cell in the body has a lot of the same exact parts. They're called organelles, right? So inside of your cell, you have mitochondria. Those are the energy warehouses. That's where you create ATP. A cell can have 5 mitochondria or 5,000 mitochondria in every single cell. You have a lot of mitochondria in the muscle cells because you need a lot more energy. Every cell has lysosomes. Your lysosomes are the septic system of the cell. So literally, the septic systems of the cell are how you get debris out of the cell. There's junk in the cell, we clean them. Also, your lysosomes can have 40 different enzymes inside of them that destroy invaders. So if you're like, if all your healthy bacteria, I'm like a bacteria lover, I love bacteria. Don't ever give me Perel, I just want good bacteria, right? Don't kill them. Anyhow, so like my body's loaded with good bacteria. It's one happy place to live. Do you honestly think if your body is loaded with healthy, happy bacteria, it wants an invader to come in? Oh no, this is my food, it says. I live in Karen. You are not allowed to live in Karen. So all my healthy bacteria are like, we're gonna get you reaction. And the good bacteria kill the bad bacteria. Where's my button? Oh, I know. So what happens is our bodies are loaded with healthy bacteria that naturally kill the bad bacteria. So our entire body is literally energetically working by sending signals. So inside of the cell, you have the mitochondria, you have lysosomes, you have motor proteins. This is exactly what a motor protein looks like, and I'm so not kidding. These are the cutest things in the entire universe are in your cell. It's legs, 2 legs, and they go like this. And they walk up the cytoskeleton. That's it. They just walk all over. You have billions of these motor proteins in your body right now, and attached to the top of the motor protein is a protein. So literally, it's delivering hormones, proteins, which are made out of proteins, all these different chemicals inside of your cell. There's all these little motor proteins walking around delivering whatever the endoplasmic reticulum or whatever the smooth, ribosomes are making. So it's delivering all of this matter to the outside of the cell so it can come out of the cell and then go to the rest of the country, which is inside of your body, right? So some cells are going to make GABA, which is a insulator for the body. It's one of your neurotransmitters. It's what I had epilepsy growing up, have a seizure, really quite exciting, drool, not talk for half an hour, totally fun to take me on a date. I really had a lot of dates. I think just because they wanted to see if I would have a seizure. Did she seizure on you? Did she drool? Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, I'm like, well, I am so getting rid of this. This is stupid, right? So I got rid of epilepsy, understanding it was a GABA deficiency, right? And we've helped a lot of people get rid of epilepsy and Tourette's and that kind of thing because it's a GABA deficiency. So our bodies literally communicate and work all within each other. The cells are communicating through my favorite part of the cell, and that is called, and that's what this whole class is about. Drum roll, please. My favorite part of the cell is the cell membrane. The membrane, you got this, girlfriend, is the actual brain of the cell, not the nucleus. You can take the stupid nucleus out of the cell for 3 months and it'll be just fine. No needs a nucleus. But you can't take that membrane out of there. And the cell is going to hold together as much as it can, not to let anything happen to the membrane. Now here's the cool part about the membrane of the cell. Hundreds of thousands of receptor sites are sticking up outside of the membrane. Hundreds of thousands on every single cell. They're antennas and they look like this. This is an aquaporin receptor. I'm looking for water. Right? That's an aquaporin receptor. And they're on every one of your cells looking for water. So if you don't have enough water, what's going to happen to your body? You're thirsty, you're thirsty, you're thirsty. Man, I'm feeling kind of thirsty. Oh, I can put it off a little bit. Oh, that ticks your cells right off. I'm calling to you! Oh, they're all getting mad, and you're like, man, I can go a little bit longer. Then I'll pee in the car, whatever. I don't want to drink water while I'm traveling. Oh, okay, you're just really nice to yourself. So literally, these receptor sites pop off of every cell. Some of them need a lot of stuff, right? Some of them need lysine. Some of them need glutamic acid. Some of them need all these amino acids. So all of the cells are communicating, I need boron, I need zinc, I need X, Y, and Z. So they can continue to lock together and build organs, glands, tissue. When you cut through a blood vessel, because you were carving your name into the tree, my son did this, I hope he's not watching, but he carved his name into the tree with his girlfriend, and he was 17 and cut off the end of his finger, it was on the ground. I get this frantic phone call, Mom, my finger, it's on the ground, what do I do? I said, just leave it there and come home, it'll grow back. Oh, there's a finger on the ground. I mean, just come home, let me take care of comfort, you know. And sure enough, his finger grew back, and he's in the military and shoots things, so he's perfectly happy. Anyhow, and so is his wife and his kids, but he's very amusing. And so, but what happened was the blood vessels like, don't worry, I got this. And then everything that fingertip needed to grow back, those were signals being sent. I need this, I need this, I need this. Because what is a protein? All proteins are amino acids stuck together like those little toys that your kids play with that are red and orange and purple and green, right? You stick those together in different formations and you make a protein. Proteins are the most simple thing in the world to understand. Proteins build the body. And so if you stick a bunch of amino acids together, you're going to build the body. My name is Karen, K-A-R-E-N. If you're missing the R, can you make my name? No. That's simple. Guess what? Same thing in your body. If you're missing an amino acid, you can't make anything in the body that needed that amino acid. So then you have symptoms, right? Now we have symptoms because we simply cannot make the protein because we don't have those amino acids. This is so simple. It's so simple. I know. Thank you. I mean, the human body is built of proteins. So if you know that proteins build the body, why are so many people eating proteins? Number one, your body makes all of the protein you will ever need except for 8 amino acids. All 22 amino acids, your body makes all but 8 when you're an adult. So you only need 8 amino acids. And guess what? You get them in cauliflower. You get them in a banana for Pete's sake, right? You eat those. Well, you should see me after class if you don't. You need cauliflower, you need bananas, right? You need really healthy foods in your body. And so your amino acids come from plants. So all of your minerals on Earth come from plants, every one of them. And guess what? All of your amino acids, all protein on Earth comes from plants. So why aren't you eating your salad? Why don't you have a green drink in the morning? Oh my gosh, oh, because it's green. Never killed anybody else, you know, it won't kill you. So literally, now I will put a plug in if you're a bodybuilder, and we sponsor bodybuilders, this is what I do for a living, right? Bodybuilders are gonna need more proteins because they're building their body. Proteins build the body. I'm checking out at this health food store the other day. This woman is clearly 250 pounds overweight, so she's just very large, and I'm like, what do I do, what do I say? And she has 3 containers of protein. The last thing that woman needs is to build any more of her body. She needs enzymes to dissolve it all, right? She needs enzymes to dissolve it all. But we keep thinking, I need protein. You take protein? I take protein. How much protein do you take? Well, I take a better protein. Mine's, you know? My gosh, what are you all crazy? And so literally, we have to look at how the body functions. Now, getting to the quantum physics part of cellular biology. So every cell is communicating with all the other cells in the body by sending signals out of receptor sites. Got that? So receptor sites are vibrating and sending signals of what the cell needs. My son cut off his finger. Those blood vessels needed specific proteins in order to heal, to create inflammation, which is a good thing. Inflammation, by the way, is awesome. And so you don't hear that often, do you? Anyhow, that's right. So we inflame the area so we can rebuild the finger. Got that? Now, if everything is electrical, let's talk about physics. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So you take a whole bunch of frequencies and you put them together and you create tissue. You create glands, you create organs, right? So now every part of my body is vibrating. I can easily do a scan on any of you. I can send thousands of frequencies through your body, and I can find out how much copper is in your body, how much fluorine is in your body. That's easy. It's just bioenergetics, right? It's like metal, metal detectors. You walk outside, you're looking for metal, right? So you can make some money. Where's that copper, right? Where's all that good stuff? Well, you're sending frequencies into the ground. This is simple. This is just science. Looking for copper, looking for one of the metals. Well, guess what? You can do the same thing in your body. You can send thousands of frequencies into the body looking for magnesium, GABA, norepinephrine. You can look for anything. You can look for every virus. You can look for bacteria. You can look for flukes. You can look for everything. You can find anything in the body if it's there. And if it's not there, it's going to come back, hey, there's no sulfur in this body. My gosh, we better get sulfur in there, right? You need sulfur. That's why your muscles hurt. So literally you can find out what's going on in the body because of electricity. What is electricity? The movement of electrons. Let's do it again. What is electricity? The movement of electrons. Do you know the periodical table of elements should be called the periodical table of energy, right? Electricity. Because every one of them is something electrically different. So if we know that a body is vibrating with all these different frequencies, let's talk about atoms. So an atom, your atom, you have electrons that are orbiting around the atom, right? The inside of the atom, nucleus. And so what happens, nucleus, thank you, protons, neutrons. Anyhow, and so these electrons that are orbiting around, we were taught, I'm 50 years old, I was taught in school that those electrons all stayed inside of a little, like, marble-size atom, right? We've all been taught that. That's completely false. New biology shows that those electrons can orbit 5 feet away from the core of the atom. Those electrons, I'm going to talk louder than that band. I just want you all to know that I can do that. I have 11 children, and I can talk loud. But anyhow, so whatever. You should all come to class. So literally, the electrons you can literally have electrons that are going 30 feet away from your body, 50 feet away from your body, 200 miles away from the body, 1,000 miles away from your body. You have electrons that are literally orbiting way away from your body. And here's the cool part, it's called bonding. This is called entanglement theory. My electrons are bonding with you. Your electrons are binding with me. My electrons are binding with all of my children when they were in the womb, right? And this is true. So like when the baby comes out of that womb and it's going through a little bit of, excitement, like, wah, right? They don't come out going, wow, this is amazing. It was like, wah, right? Wah, what happened? So what happens is, how many of you as moms or grandmas have taken that child and just spoken, honey, it's okay, I'm ready. And what happens? Because I recognize you've been sharing electrons your whole life, like of the whole life of the child. I always love talking about this because it's like your baby's in the womb, but it's not like it doesn't know you. It's not like it doesn't know its sisters and brothers. Like they are hearing the sisters and brothers their whole 9 months, right? Mom, where's my backpack? Mom, is dinner ready yet? Mom, it doesn't like that one. So like when that brother wants to hold it, it's like, don't touch me, you're weird, right? Or that mother-in-law who's like, honey, are you eating your vitamins? Honey, are you doing this? And you don't like going to her home. Guess what? Every time that baby goes to the house, it's going to scream. We've all been there. But then there's that sister who's like taking care of the baby and loving the baby, and that is the baby's best friend, right? Coolest experience I ever had with birthing babies was actually my first granddaughter. Our first granddaughter was born in our home on purpose. That was not like a freak accident or something. Ooh, I know, isn't that weird? And so she was born in our home, and the coolest thing happened. Now that baby, they had been living with us for about 4 or 5 months before the baby was born, and they got married in Samoa, and they were living with us. And so the baby knew us. It could hear all of our family. It could smell our smells. It knew us. Well, it couldn't smell our smells, but it heard all of us. The baby comes out of the womb, gets covered in lactobacillus bacteria. The best part of the birth process is coming out of the vaginal delivery and being covered in its first glimpse into bacteria. By the way, if you don't have a vaginal birth, your baby is never exposed to the bacteria that will set up its immune system. This whole C-section thing is horrific, but we won't talk about that microbiome right now. So that baby comes out. So this little girl, Harmony, came out of the womb. We weighed her, we got her settled, she was calm and relaxed, right? And then as soon as maybe about an hour and a half went by, we took Harmony, and Harmony laid on the bed. And then some of the younger children who weren't there for the birth with us came into the room, and this is what happened. Now this is a baby who has barely opened her eyes up. Put her on the bed, and all of my little girls come in around the corner of the room, and Harmony literally does this. She takes her whole head and she stares at each one of the girls. Then she looks this way. Like she literally could feel who they were, and we were in awe. Because electrically, that baby knew all of us. Because she'd been sharing electrons with us since before she was born. Because electrons penetrate, electrons are shared. So my twins, one of them was on a mission in Florida, the other one was in Idaho going to school. And I get this frantic phone call, Mom, something's wrong with my leg. Like, I have no idea what's wrong with my leg, but I can't move it. Something's happening. What could it be? And I'm like, well, we've tried. She goes, no, I've done all of it. I said, it's Eric. So she sends this letter, Dear Eric, what happened on Thursday at 3 p.m.? Because like I'm feeling this really crazy emotion, blah, 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 in my right leg. Monday, when you, of course, you get hear from your missionaries on Monday only, usually. Anyhow, and so boom, she gets a letter back. Oh my gosh, I was hit by a car. What? You were hit by a car? Nothing tragic, but yeah, I really screwed up my leg, She could feel that because they'd been sharing electrons since conception. I'm on the phone with so here's my deal. One of my friends lent out like $30,000 to someone. He should have asked me first. But anyhow, and so he lent out $30,000 to this lady. And for 4 months, I'm like, I wonder if he ever got it back. I wonder if he ever got it back. The same morning, I was thinking about a good friend of mine who hadn't been to our wellness center in a while because she'd been out of the country. So I'm thinking about my friend. And what happens? The phone rings, and it's my friend who lent my other friend $30,000 without asking me first. And he calls, he's like, Karen, I was thinking about you this morning. I'm like, oh, how are you doing? Did you ever get your money back? And while I'm on the phone, my friend who hadn't been at my center for like how many months walks up the stairs to my office. I got a good one for you. So we have this computer guy. He's a computer guy named Justin. So Justin has done all of my computers in our wellness centers everywhere for like 6 years. So after doing this, I remember this one time, all these things went wrong. My thermal imaging was down. All of my communication in the center was down. I'm like, I got this. I'm really smart, right? Like I should figure this out. So I'm like trying to figure it all out. And I'm so involved in for 4 hours trying to figure this out. Who walks up the stairs? I hadn't seen Justin in probably 2 years. He goes, Karen, I was driving around and I think you needed me. He showed up, completely fixed the whole problem. Now, I just go, Justin. Just kidding. I text him. But literally, I have been sharing electrons, and Justin only comes at dinner time. Mind you, because I am a chef. So he only comes at dinner time. The kids actually called him Uncle Justin the entire time he worked with us, because he was always there for dinner. But anyhow, I love Justin. Now, so literally, electrically, you are entangled with everyone. You're entangled with your animals. You're entangled with your plants. If you haven't heard me talk on plants, you got to check out some of my audios, because that's going to totally bring me out. That's amazing. Your plants are absolutely, completely tied into you. And that's why you've probably known people who really have a hard home life and other plants die. Right? There was this home in Provo. Whenever I went to Provo, Utah, and I spoke, there was this home on this corner. And when I stayed with my friends that were down there, every time I drive by this home, I'm like, what the heck happens in that house? All the trees leaned away from the house. Everything else was dead that was around the house. I'm like, man! So I'd send all this love to the trees. I'm like, I love you. I don't even know you, but I'm here. There's good people too. I'm sorry you're stuck right there. When you drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, just be like, I love you. Think positive, right? It's good to be beautiful here. This is a good thing. So knowing that, all of a sudden, we have to realize that our cells are literally charged by everything and everyone we come in contact with, physically and electrically. So this is the cool part. At the cell receptor site level, those receptors they're like lock and key. You have a little piece of boron that comes along. It's only going to fit where boron fits, right? Sugar, glucose is going to fit where glucose is. That's only if there's chromium, only if there's insulin there. But that's all my diabetes on. But anyhow, and so literally everything's going to come floating along and get sucked up into the cell only where there's a port that fits it. We got that? This is the cool thing. Your cell receptor sites are triggered literally 100 times faster and more powerfully by an electromagnetic frequency. I'm going to repeat that. So the frequency of vitamin C will actually activate the cell receptors more powerfully than taking vitamin C complex. I want you to wrap your head around that. A cancer cell will grow 1,632 times faster when exposed to pulsing technology. Pulsing Wi-Fi, smart meters, pulsing technology. Your cancer will grow 1,600 times faster. I just scanned about a dozen kids in the last 26 hours, right? All these families that are kids. A couple of those children, their testicle areas, they're 6 or 7 years old. their prostates are enlarged, their testicles aren't working, sperm formation is completely not working, and they're 13 or 14 years old. But all this stuff because they're radiating their testes with electricity, right? Laptops and iPads and all iPhones and whatever else garbage that kids are putting in their pockets, right? I had these people from Pitney Bowes come in one time. So I got this really super fancy printing unit. I love that thing. It's bigger than my car. And so these people came in, and I was kind of hiding in the back of the office so that no one would talk to me because I had to get things done. And this guy comes around the corner. He's kind of a larger statured man, a very larger statured man. He's in a suit. He's like, so, you don't got Wi-Fi? Is that like some health thing or something? That's exactly what I said. I said, sir, if you had any idea what the cell phone in your left pocket was doing to your ability to ejaculate and have an erection, I said, you would think twice. He's like, did she just say that? He pulls out his phone, right, and he puts it on his clipboard, and the guy next to him is a skinny guy with a suit coat. He goes, well, mine is right here. I said, oh, in your left pocket, right over your heart. Now, would you like to talk to me about the body? And they're like, oh, and their wives started shopping at my store and coming to classes the next week. It was just great. Like, ah, really? Hello? You know? So, electrically, we must understand that we are using physics for good and bad. So using electrical signatures to heal is very powerful. How many of you have heard of the Rife machine? I use the Rife machine every day. The thing is freaking amazing because you can literally put frequencies into someone's body and cause harmonic resonance with everything from a virus or a bacteria to a cancer cell. That's what people do in hospitals, right? You get kidney stones, you go to the doctor, he's like, well, what they do is they find out the frequency of your kidney stone. And then they put the frequencies into your kidneys and blast them up, and then out comes all these little stones, right? Well, can you do that for bacteria? Yeah. Parasites? Yeah. Most anything? Uh-huh. Right? It's just called harmonic resonance. It's simply physics. It's just science. And so when we start understanding that everything we ever eat is going to affect the cell nature. Everything you drink. I mean, hello, drink the green drink or drink a Gatorade. What's going to make your cells vibrate with joy and be healthy? What is going to coat the cells or misfire the cell, right? That's where the synthetic products cause misfiring in the cell. I don't use them. There's never a synthetic I would ever use in my body, which is why in our health food stores, I sold one vitamin C. I sold one type of magnesium. There weren't 15 to choose from because why would I sell you something I would never use? And why would I sell you something that 90% of it's going to go down the toilet because you just wasted your money? So our cells are reacting to everything. So we're at an energy conference. Now I do a lot of energy medicine. Right? I teach 120 natural modalities of healing. Right? I teach acupuncture and acupressure. I teach chiropractic. I teach a lot of ways to heal the body, and they all work because they're doing something at the cell level. Whether it be using an essential oil, right? Whether it be using an herb, those are things that actually work because they're molecules that go into the body and attach to cells to trigger something. But what works 100 times faster than a molecule and more powerful? Electricity. So now sound therapy, Rife machine, chromotherapy, which is color therapy, those work because they're electrically charging the cells of the body. You're at an energy conference, like everyone talks about emotion code at these things, right? Well, it's your ancestor. It's the ancestor on your 5th generation on your mother's side, and curse that woman for cursing you with all the, okay, right? So we blame, well, that's never gonna heal you. You think you're ever gonna get healed from anything when you're blaming a generational issue? No, but we have to understand that electrically we can release emotions that are in our body because emotions are literally polypeptides. Hello, what happens when you get embarrassed? Oh, you turn pink. Well, did that just happen? No, that's polypeptides. That's your body reacting. It's every emotion is a chemical, right? Lots of researchers have done Incredible work of that. So every emotion you ever has causes an emotional reaction, causes a chemical to be made in the body. Whether you saw someone hit your mother, or whether you had emotions when your friend died, you have these emotional attachments because number one, you're entangled, but number two, you've created a chemical. Your receptor sites get addicted to chemicals. Has anybody ever tried to stop eating cheese? Do you know that there's MSG in almost all dairy? MSG! But you're like, no, Karen, they got rid of MSG a long time ago. No. You only have to label MSG if it's 99.9% pure. You can use 99% MSG and never tell anybody. MSG is an excitotoxin. It excites the taste buds. You like this. Oh, I like this. I can't eat just one Lay's potato chip. Right? Right. Whatever it is, it excites the body. So we literally have to look at the fact that everything we eat, everything we drink, everything we put on our skin, all of these molecules that are coming into our body are exciting or causing our bodies to react. As likewise, any emotion we have inside of our body is electricity, and that is causing our body to react. Does that make sense? So energy healing, we have to take a big step back and go, well, I drink my green drink, and I've met these people. I drink my green drink, and I eat my salad, and I am so sick of my husband because he does not support me in this. Oh, that's a lovely frequency, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but there were some frequencies during registration that were just a little disturbing, right? I'm like, hello, are we at an energy conference? Like, what are you giving off, sunshine? You know, because some people were just really stressed, get in line, do this, blah, blah, like, oh my gosh, you know? Send love, I love yourselves, I love you, right? So we have to realize that everyone we ever interfere with is making us healthy or sick. I was in the middle of downward dog while writing my book. By the way, when I wrote my book on the body, literally, when I wrote the book on the body, I lived in a different building from my family. So we stayed in a building, and I was doing yoga in the mornings, and I was in downward dog, and this line came to me. Loud, like this. Cancer is not just inside of you, it's sitting next to you. It's like... And I literally had a pad of paper every time I was in yoga, because like God talks to Karen through yoga, right? Like, Karen, whoa! I wrote it down. That's my favorite line in the whole book. Cancer's not just inside of you, it's sitting next to you. Do you know how many women I work with that are narcissist husbands? And these guys should be like all sent far away on a special island, okay? Like really, and with only going one way. But anyhow, and so these people, but they won't leave. So they're taking these supplements, they're joining MLMs, and they're trying to do everything positive, but then they go home to an environment where it's sick, it's contentious, it's sad, it's angry, there's bad vibes, you know? And I'm like, you can't heal until you change the environment. So when I talk about physics and how cell receptor sites function, it's called cellular context. The cellular context is what needs to change in order for you to get rid of dis-ease. There's no such thing as disease. And you can quote me on that. I do not believe at all that there's any such thing as disease. There is dis-ease of the cell. The cells are missing something. They're missing their best friends, they're missing who they work with, they're missing food. Something is wrong. And what's cool about cellular biology, you can take a healthy cell and it will grow and divide into 2 healthy cells. The 2 healthy cells are going to grow and divide and you'll have 4 healthy cells. You can take each of those cells and put them into 4 different petri dishes, and you can grow bone, same cell. You can grow muscle out of the same cell. You can grow skin. You can grow 4 completely different things out of the same identical cells by changing one thing, the cell environment. Feed it different food, put different electrical frequencies through it, and you're going to literally create something different in the body. So, your cells are regenerating all the time. So if you're still stuck with this story that I was an alcoholic for 14 years, I never have enough money to pay my bills, I've been recovered cancer client for 6 years. Hello, my name is fibromyalgia. Hello, my name is gluten intolerant. Hello, my name is peanut allergy. Hello, my name is whatever it is, right? Then what are your cells hearing all the time?
That's what you want.
That's what your title is. That's your identity. And so not only do we change the food, but we change the words we think, the words we hear, the people we hang out with. I have a whole presentation on forgiveness, and one of the things I teach during that forgiveness presentation is invite, delete. I'm going to show you. I just feel impressed to share that with you. So literally, if you've got someone who's like on your Facebook and there's always something drama going on, this is what happened. Oh my gosh, every day it's like Dramaville, right? I call these people emo-aholics. Emotional alcoholics, get that? Emo-aholics, I make up my own words, but you've met them. People that are very emotional about everything. Well, you can do 3 things here. You can invite them to something wonderful. Hey, I'm going to go to this crazy energy healing conference. There's some really great booths there. People make their own soaps, and people are really nice. Do you want to come with me? Oh, no. I'm really not feeling very well. Okay, so return and report. Tell them how wonderful the conference was. This chick talked about cells. Let's watch her on Facebook. No. That's a second invite. Invite. No. Right? You can invite, delete. The third invitation, they're like, no, I really don't want to hang out with you and your happy friends. You got to like hit the delete button, right? You got to be like, delete, okay? And like, I'll revisit that in about 6 months, because you need to make sure that your cell context is healthy. You have to take care of your cells energetically and physically. Because physically, when you drink a green drink, put lemons in your water, eat goji berries, like whatever you're doing, you're going to literally trigger the cells to create a healthier environment. And then emotionally, if you're happy and talking to your cells and talking to your best friend and sending out love and not sending out judgment, man, on the way here I was like, man, people in Utah are so judgmental. I've never met a state like this. I love Utah, like that's why I moved here. But man, people are looking at everybody, how long are their sleeves? Where were they married? I'm like, oh my gosh, would you lighten up and love everybody? Would you lighten up and make love, not war? Like, no, we're in this to love each other. We're friends. And so really by changing what you're giving, you're going to change what you receive. We all know that, right? Power of attraction stuff, right? But here's one thing I want to share before I close, because this is really important. So your cells are all vibrating depending on what you're eating, drinking, putting on your skin, and what you're thinking and hearing. Got that? Everything's affecting it. This is the kicker. This is why affirmations don't work. Did I say that? And I'm at an energy conference? This is it. I'm going to lose weight and be healthy forever. I'm the most incredible woman there ever was, right? I'm releasing all the negative things in my life, and I'm free from all things. Right? We can say and tap. I love tapping. I really do it, but I'm mocking right now. So we're literally going to be saying all these things, right? But if you don't feel it, nothing will change in your body. So my challenge to you is to understand physics enough to start feeling something instead of saying it. No more loving your body, losing weight, all the stuff that you say. I'm going to attract the most wonderful, incredible man into my life, right? No, I want you to feel it. I met with a woman very recently. She was one of my clients, and she came and I said, and she had a lot, like she was stunning. You look at her, she's like the most flipping gorgeous person you ever saw. I'm like, whoop, man, incredible, right? But that wasn't her life. And I said, I want you to tell me how you're feeling. I want you to close your eyes and don't tell me how you're thinking. And I want you to think about this. I said, I want you to tell me how you are feeling in your body. What are you feeling? Depressed, not worthy, ignored. I mean, all these, I literally was like, hold yourself together. I mean, it was literally 15 depressing, terrible, sad words that none of you would ever think would come out of This Is Beautiful, right? And I said, okay, what I want you to do then is no affirmations, none of the stuff that she teaches. Why is this not working, Karen? Because it doesn't matter what you say. Your cells are smarter than that. It matters what you feel. So my challenge to her was, I want you to go to the top of Kolob Canyon or go somewhere every day and try to feel one emotion. Just feel it. And the emotion we chose for her was literally secure. Just feel secure. She said, I have no idea what that feels. I don't know how that feels. I've never had a secure relationship. I've been abused my entire life. My parents don't want anything to do with me because I'm not their faith, right? So security was something she'd never felt before. And that is her challenge, is to feel that security. Because once you feel secure, how are you going to walk in your office? I can help you. There's a difference between confidence, right? And that's what she needs, that security and cockiness. So am I confident that there's nobody I can't help? Yeah, I'm very confident that any one of you could see me and your life would be better. I'm confident because I've had that much experience. That's not cocky, right? That's like putting me on top of, I always say, I want to be like, you know, Moroni or someone to like speak with one of those big bugles over the expressway when they're coming like, hello, you can be well. You know, shout from the rooftops. You are, it's a cell thing. Everything's a cell thing. But you have to feel it first. If you don't feel confident, can you stand on a rooftop? No. When I first started getting into this and understanding that I totally dig the body and I totally understand cells and I totally like putting things together, and all of a sudden my clients started healing from epilepsy, neuropathy, you know, all cancers, like everything was like just leaving, I'm like, do I have any fear talking to a doctor? Zippo. None. Why is that? Because I'm confident in that and my whole body feels secure and confident. But that's not how I felt when I first started doing this. So if you can think of what feeling would you like to feel, what would it be? And write it down. What would you love to feel? Would you like to feel beautiful? Would you like to feel secure financially? Would you like to feel joyful? Would you like to feel peace? Write down that word and literally practice feeling, but you can't think. You can't do your tapping. You can't do any of that. You can't think. You have to feel. When you start feeling healthy, the whole body's going to vibrate to healthy. Whoa, you feeling that? What is she doing? Right? Whoa! You're going to start feeling that. So, can you use electricity to heal? We've already covered that. What is electricity? Movement of electrons. Where do you get all of your minerals? All minerals on Earth come from plants, right? Where do all your proteins come from? All proteins on Earth come from plants. Can I hear a hallelujah? Hallelujah! So literally, the plants are vibrating, the animals that we're eating, we're vibrating. So now you look at, what am I choosing to eat as a dead animal? Am I choosing to eat a dead animal that was raised organically, grass-fed, you wave to them when you're driving down I-15, yeah, those? Or are you going to choose to eat an animal that was raised in a very toxic environment? Because whatever you eat becomes you. And if you're eating a stressed out, oh, I love it when people are like, oh, Karen, I need to eat meat, I get my energy. I'm like, no, you're not. You're getting adrenaline from a steer. That's what you're getting. You're getting adrenaline because the animal was just killed and freaking out. So what's in the meat? Adrenaline, right? Hello? Have you ever heard of mean meat? You know, people get very mean when they eat a lot of meat. Look at your ADD kids that are acting out. What are they eating? Meat. Right? Meat and sugar. Oh, don't even get me going on sugar, sunshine. Woo! Talk about the thing in the world you should never eat, right? Just because she got me going on sugar, one thing. You're the reason no one's leaving yet. So, a cancer cell can have 15 times the amount of receptor sites for sugar as a healthy cell. So what is someone with cancer going to crave? Sugar. All cancer thrives on sugar. Like every doctor in the world knows that sugar feeds cancer. Because what do you do before a PET scan? You drink radioactive sugar. It's in a crystal-like container so you feel better. But you drink radioactive sugar. And then you drink the radioactive sugar and then you go into a positive emission tomography. And gamma rays are created when you're going through the tomography unit. Because it's reacting with the radioactive sugar. So you come out the other end, they can go, oh, here's where you have cancer. Well, how'd they know that? Because all your cancer cells are eating sugar. So why do they hand out Hershey's Kisses when you get out of the stupid tomography room, right? You just had a PET scan and they're giving you sugar. Repeat business. I was in Minnesota. I was a keynote with all these really cool doctors, you know. And I'm walking around and there's this cancer recovery, you know, big clinic, you know. They're handing out brownies. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, is like 8 at the time. Mom, don't say anything. Mom. I'm like, I have to say something. Mom, don't. Please don't go. I drag her up to the booth. Hi. So, you guys are all recovering from cancer? Oh, yes. I said, oh, what are these brownies? Oh, what is made of? Oh, they have sugar. I said, oh, so do you know what sugar does to cancer cells? Oh, my gosh, when they learned that sugar fed cancers, they took the big bowls of brownies and put them away, right? Next day, back on the table again, because new volunteers were there that had cancer, right? So we just simply don't understand And where does sugar come from? Thanks a lot for this, by the way. Where does sugar come from? Sugar is like brown sugar and white sugar, right? And all your pastries. Guess what? All of your grain is sugar. If you got cancer, don't be eating oatmeal. Like, who told you oatmeal was okay? Ching ching. Right? I don't care if it's sprouted organic wheat bread, that's sourdough. I don't care. It's sugar. Like, all grain is sugar, and it's all going to make your cancer grow. This is just science. This is simple. Very simple. What is milk? Sugar. So you don't eat milk either. You don't drink milk and dairy and eat cheese when you got cancer. You're supposed to be killing your cancer cells. So, again, understanding how cells function puts you in charge of your health. You want great health? It's a cell thing. You want to understand ADD, ADHD, diabetes, neuropathy, epilepsy? It's a cell thing. It's a cell context thing. It's energy medicine. It's the energy from the food that we're eating, and it's the energy from the people we're hanging out with. And of course, it's also the energy from your cell phone, your smart meter, and your router, but we're not talking about that tonight. But those are important to understand. So can you live dis-ease-free? Yes. It's a cell thing. So we're going to do one thing. We're going to close with Facebook right now. I'm going to go over a couple notes real quick, and then you guys are out of here. So yes, question time. Here it goes. Hello.